Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. So in this video we're going to deal with a very popular problem which is called the palindromic sequence, a palindromic sequence. So let's say we're given a sequence of numbers, okay, or let's say a string of character, a sequence of string of characters. Let's say, for example, the word radar, and what we want to do is to tell whether this word is palindromic sequence or not, whether it's a palindromic or not. So we can say that a word is palindromic if and only if we can read the word from left to right the same way we read it from right to left. So if we read it from left to right, it would be radar. If we read it from right to left, it would also be radar. Okay, so it's the same word. Okay. So here's another example: A, B, C, D, E, F, and then E, D, C, B, A. So from left to right equals from right to left. So that's also a palindromic word. So the strategy that we're going to follow in order to do this, we can solve this problem this way. We can compare the first character with the last character, and then we compare the second with the one just before the last, and then the third with the one just before the previous one, before the B, that's one, and so on. So we're going to make a counter here called beg, and another counter here called and then we start comparing t of beg to t of end. Let's say that this array, this string is called t, okay? So we keep comparing them, and then incrementing the beginning and decrementing the end. When we find that t of beginning is different to t of end, then we declare that this string is palindromic. If otherwise, we compared A with A, B with B, C with C, and so on. And these two counters got flipped. So we got this one before the other one. We know that we've traversed the entire string without finding any violation. So we can declare that this string is indeed palindromic. So let's write that, okay? Let's write this solution. So I'm going to start writing it using an algorithmic pseudocode, and then I'm going to see if I am going to write a version of C from this code, okay? So our word is stored inside a string called T. Now our beginning, the beg index, would take index 0, and the end index would take the length of t minus 1. So that's the index of the last character of t, okay? Remember that the indices of t starts from 0 up to the length minus 1, okay? And then we're going to say while, so while the beginning is less than the end, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say if t of the beginning is different to t of the end, in that case, we're going to return false, okay? Otherwise, we're just gonna increment the beginning and decrement the end. And then finally, so that's and while. So if we have completed the entire loop, it means that beginning is not less than end anymore, which means that this is indeed palindromic sequence, because if it were not palindromic sequence, then we would found t beg is not different to t end, is different to t end, and we would have returned with false. But since we did not return, it means that it is palindromic and beginning became bigger or equal to end. So in that scenario, we would just return true. Okay? If we did not return false, it means that it is palindromic, then we just return true. So this is the basic idea. If we write a simple C function for this, it would be something like this. So a function that returns a Boolean or an integer, it's the same thing. And let's say it's called palindromic, and we give it a char t of size, let's say 100 characters, or we can omit that if we want. And we said that the first thing that we would do is we would say that we have a big variable equals 0 and an end variable equals the length of t minus 1. Okay? So that's the initialization. And then we have while that b, while the beginning is less than the end, we're just gonna see if t of the beginning plus plus, let's just do that in just one instruction. So if t of beginning plus plus is different to t of end minus minus, in that case we would return false. Okay? And then we would return true if we did not return. So here I said beginning plus plus. This plus plus is post incrementation, which means that we're going to compare t of big with t of end, and then we're going to increment the beginning and decrement the end in just one instruction. Okay, and then we're going to return 0 if they're different. Otherwise, we're not going to return 0. We're going to keep looping, looping, looping until beginning and end are not in this order anymore. In that scenario, we would just return true. Okay, and to call this function in the main program, we just have to make it like this. So p, let's say p is a Boolean variable, so p equals palindromic of radar. Okay, semicolon. And then if p equals 1, then yes, otherwise, so print yes. Print yes. Otherwise, else, print no. Okay? Cool. So that's basically how to solve this problem, both with algorithms and with a language, a programming language such as C. So see you at the next video.